Okay, I've now completed knitting my 11 rows for my ring finger, and I'm now going to do the bind off. You want your bind off to be loose, not too loose, not too tight, just sort of a nice, relaxed sort of tension. You knit your first stitch, you knit your second stitch. Take your first stitch and you drag it over top of your second stitch. And you now have one stitch on your right needle. You knit the second stitch off, or next stitch off your left needle to the right, drag that first stitch over. It would be just easier if I just shut up and did it. If I say first, second, I tend to call things the wrong thing, I've noticed. And then look, I'm just going to call everything a thing. Everything's a thing. Switching to the next DPN, you just knit and pull over. And again, without splicing everything. Always preferred not to splice your yarn. If you do, you just pull it off and sort of rearrange the threads a little bit. You'll see how that is. That's annoying. And when you switch DPNs, when you're doing the cast off, you don't particularly have to pull it really tight, not like you would normally do. Oh look, I forgot to pull it over. Like, why is there two on there? I've done a bind off before and somewhere in the middle forgotten what I was doing, and I'm suddenly have, 6 or 8 stitches on there, and I'm like, oh wait, that's right, I was binding off. So we come to the last stitch. What we want to try and do is tuck that little bugger under a little bit. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm actually going to come up underneath the first leg and then into my loop. Actually, I want to go under and knit the loop, then pull off that extra little thingy that you put on there. Just drag it over, and then, as you normally would, drag your last stitch over. You now have one stitch left on your needles. Now, I also like to see how you have the little gap right there. It's sort of a little strange. Is to then, again, come up under. It doesn't even really matter where. I just sort of come under that first stitch. Yeah, that first stitch. Forgot what I was doing. And this one's a little more difficult because it's not, you're not really pulling it from the same kind of manner as normal. Actually, I should have put that under there, like that. And then pull it over again. Now you can have your own way of binding off, and you know what? It wouldn't even be that big of a deal if you just left it, But I like to try and tack it down a little bit. I did discover the other day that I can actually tear wool in half with my fingers. Oh, maybe. Oh, there it goes. So I'm just going to break that and make my last loop a little bit bigger. And then reach through the loop like that and grab the yarn and bingo, all done. And then when you're done, all these little extra guys that are on the top here, we're going to weave those in, and you can either weave them across the top or your bind off or down in. And then the next part is going to be to start the pinky finger, and it's going to be 6 in the front, 6 in the back. So you're not going to do a cast on the right hand side on this, but you are going to need one between your ring finger and your pinky. So however you want to divide those up, I'm going to do it basically the same way that I did on the index finger, where I'm going to put 2 stitches on the front on the first needle, and then I'll join my yarn, knit 2, do a cast on, and then knit around. You just want to separate these remaining stitches. There should be 12 on your stitch holder or your waste yarn right now. Divide those up onto 3 needles.